When he was first elected leader in 1998, he was Europe's youngest leader at just 35 years old. After a brief period in opposition, he was re-elected as Prime Minister in 2010 and has been the leader of Hungary ever since, making him Europe's longest-serving leader currently. I'm Melinda Nusafora, and I sat down with Prime Minister of Hungary, Viktor Orban, one-on-one. Mr. Prime Minister, Hungary and Turkey, your NATO allies, you also hosted President Erdogan in Budapest in December. How would you evaluate Turkey-Hungary relations?
Okay. Thank you for the invitation anyway. First of all, we have a long history of Turkey and Hungarian relationship. Very, very long. Hungary is the only country in Europe which member of Turkish Council. Turkish Council is a group for Turkish language-based societies, and Hungary is invited as observer. So we are part of the Middle Asian political life, quite closely involved. That's first. Second, President Erdogan has a special reputation in Hungary. In Hungary, strong leadership is still a positive term, unlike in the Western countries. In Europe, strong leader means something bad, just a step to Hitler, so it's a very German-based understanding of leadership. Europeans love more the institutions than the people, not the leaders, but the institutions. That's the second reason why Hungary is different, therefore we respect President Erdogan. And the third one is that, especially nowadays, there are only two countries, Turkey and Hungary, which speak the language of peace. In the Western Hemisphere, everybody is speaking the language of war. So if you have an international meeting, Council meeting of European Union or NATO Council, whatever, everybody's about war, winning, victory, crush, kill Putin, or Putin must fail, regime change. So very aggressive and warlike language. The only exception is Turkey and Hungary. We are more oriented to the peace, therefore we are rather speaking the language of the peace.
Can you elaborate on that? How do you see Turkey and Hungary aligning? Europe is currently facing a war on its doorstep, so shouldn't leaders be talking about war?
Yeah, the question is, the war is a part of reality. So when we are speaking about the war, is the war, but the question is what we would like to achieve. And we would like to achieve peace. So, plus, Hungary is a small nation, nobody's interested in that anyway. GDP is rather limited, the number of soldiers not comparable with like Turkey and so on. So what Hungary made interesting is rather the set of values, because it's a conservative country. And it's running out of fashion in the European Union. And Turkey is still a conservative stronghold. So there is a political meaning of God, nation, family, like in Hungary. This is the basic values of politics in Hungary and in Turkey as well. If you say it in Europe, you are in trouble. So you are considered as somebody from coming of middle age, and so it's very suspicious something. So that kind of set of values, respect, traditional respect to each other, which is the basis of peace, it's quite common in Hungary and in Turkey. So it's easier to negotiate with the leadership of Turkey at this moment than with those communities we belong to.
You think you see common values between your two cultures, two peoples?
Yeah, of course, of course.
You've taken a very unapologetically strong anti-immigration stance. What role do you see Turkey playing with regards to migration in Europe?
Okay. Migration is the most important question in Europe at this moment. First of all, I would like to approach from the Hungarian vantage point, from the Hungarian angle. So, can you imagine that you have a 10 million country And let's say in 2015, just immediately, out of the blue, appearing 200,000-300,000 migrants on the border, don't respect the regulation at all, and crossing the border. Physically, there was no border between Serbia and Hungary, and just running into the country, and you are not able to stop it. And you know, it's a totally chaos, unstable situation, public disorder. You know, it's like a war. And therefore, the question of migration in Hungary, it's not about the migrants. The question in Hungary about whether we do have the right to decide who we would like to live with, or somebody else will decide about it. This is the main discussion with Brussels, because the Brusselians think that migration is a good thing. So don't misunderstand the situation. In Brussels and in the major capitals, they think that migration is something which could deliver good things and can deliver something positive.
You don't believe that migration can ever deliver anything positive?
No, look at the experience. You know, it's not a theoretical issue. Public disorder is not a good thing. Crime is not a good thing. Uncontrolled border is not a good thing. You know, so I think migration as it is today is definitely something which is bad, and we don't need it. We need border control. We need strong states who decide who can step in and who cannot. That's the basic point.
As a country like Turkey, with I think one of the highest rates per capita of migrants living within its borders, what role do you see Turkey playing?
I think Turkey played the most important role in migration issue. So without Turkey, Europe would be totally destabilized because of migration. So Erdogan saved the continent at least 2 times in the last 8 years. So without having a stronghold leadership here in Turkey, we would be in a huge trouble. So we appreciate very much that the Turkish government is so committed to stop it and to manage it. I think we are not always fair to the Turkish government, because we promise a lot of things to Turkey if they are committed enough to help us on migration, and we are not fulfilling properly, not in right time. We pay too late, we don't pay exactly the same money we agreed, because we have to finance it, of course. So if it is our interest, the tough behavior, the strong behavior of the Turkish government, we have to share the economic burden of it, and I think European Union should be aware that we have to take it. We have to take some responsibility and help the Turkish government, and sometimes we are not properly do it. That's my impression.
Let's move on to NATO. Another thing you and Turkey have had in common have been reservations with regards to Sweden. Hungarian Parliament approved Sweden's bid on Monday. There are also, though, lengthy delays before Hungary was willing to agree to the EU's latest funding package for Ukraine. Some critics say that these are just delaying tactics and that this is a favour to your friend Vladimir Putin. What do you say to those critics?
Could we separate the two questions, my friend and the Swedish issue? Yeah? So the Swedish issue is very simple. We had quite a lot of discussions, strong disputes, sometimes heated disputes with the Swedish because of political reasons. In Brussels, we are regularly accused not to respect rule of law and so on. You know, we reject the same-sex marriage, we reject uncontrolled migration and all that kind of thing. So we are criticized for that in Brussels. And the Swedish were very active in that. And I said, guys, if you would like to join NATO, we have to rebuild the trust and the confidence between each other. So please come and do it. And then they came and we did. So that was about the national pride. It was not about tactics. You know, Hungary is a country. And Hungary is a nation. So
and you're a leader, though. Is it not looking good for you to be standing up to them?
No. The point was very clear from geopolitical point of view. If the Swedish decide to join, we will be positive. But there is a proper order how to do it. And you must respect Hungary. Without respecting Hungary, you can't belong to the same community where we are. It's impossible. Then my friend Putin.
Yes, okay, your friend Putin.
Don't forget. So that's a very cheap game anyway. So,
But critics have made the point that not that at all, no one is accusing Hungary of being Russia's puppet, but that your friendliness with the Russian leader leads you to take a certain stance.
No. They do regularly, you know, it's quite regular to be called dog of Putin, that's my proud title, or Trojan horse of Putin, or that kind of things, you know. But
what do you say to that, though? How do you respond?
You know, it requires psychotherapy, you know, it's not a political discussion. So it's difficult to understand for many countries, especially for the progressive liberals, that when we look at the conflict between the war between Ukraine and Russia, the angle how we observe this war is a Hungarian one. So I don't wear the eyeglass of the Ukrainians or the eyeglass of Putin. I don't care with that. I have to represent the interest of my country and my nation. And I know what is the interest of Hungarians. And when something is good for the Hungarians, I support. When something is bad, I oppose it. So that's so simple. So if you would like to understand what we are doing, you can't understand from the point of view of Putin or the Zelensky. This is not the case with Hungarians. So behave like that.
All right, let's
Don't forget, for example, that very few are aware of the fact that in Ukraine we have a quite strong Hungarian minority community. You know, that certain part of Ukraine 100 years ago belonged to Hungary. When it was cut and created the Soviet Union, many Hungarians stayed where they were. They lived there for 1,000 years. And that community now belongs to Ukraine. And they are conscripted. So Hungarians are dying in the Ukrainian war. So don't forget, who are dying in the war is not just the Russians and the Ukrainians.
But those people identify as Ukrainian.
But several Hungarians died as well. And they belong to the Hungarian nation. They speak Hungarian language. They have our common history. So we feel being the same community members. So we have a special understanding of that. So peace means save Hungarian lives, not just lives generally, which is equally important anyway, but save Hungarian lives as well. That's one reason, beyond some others, why we are very much committed as Hungarians to the peace.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you to the Prime Minister of Hungary, Viktor Orban.